What's going on, everyone? I'm Wayne Grayson and you're watching Equipment World, and it's time for another episode of The Dirt, the construction equipment news show. Today on The Dirt, we'll discuss a special financing offer from Terramac on its crawler carriers, a new excavator bucket from Paladin, and an autonomous fleet of rollers building a highway in China. And we're going to have a quick look at our recent video overview of the new 420 and 420XE backhoes from Cat. Then in our interview segment, we're going to be joined by Robert Hussey of Komatsu to talk about the company's latest additions to its large wheel loader lineup. But first, let's get into the top heavy equipment headlines. Rubber track crawler carrier manufacturer Terramac has introduced a 0% financing offer for a limited time. Now, Terramac tells us that this is the first such 0% offer that it has made available, and this offer will be available across the entire lineup of Terramac crawler carriers, and that includes the RT6, RT7, RT9, RT14, and the 360-degree rotating RT14R. This offer is going to be available through August 31st of 2020 at all Terramac dealers across the US, and qualified buyers are going to be able to choose from 24, 36, and 48-month terms. And Terramac is applying its standard 1-year, 1,000-hour warranty to all machines financed through this program. You can check out the Terramac website or contact your local dealer for more details on this offer. Next up in the headlines is Paladin, which has launched a new bucket, thumb, and coupler that the company says work together on any manufacturer's excavator. The newly upgraded JRB excavator bucket has a 15% capacity increase over previous models, and it's more durable. The bucket's dual tapered design allows material to flow in and out easier, and it's compatible with 12 to 45 ton excavators. Then there's Paladin's new JRB thumb systems, which are designed to be installed easily and feature what Paladin calls best-in-class clamping and rotation. Now, these thumbs feature hardened pins, bushings that can be replaced in the field, dual cushion cylinders, and high-strength abrasion-resistant material. The third new Paladin product is the Power Latch coupler that has a multi-pin spread for picking up a range of attachments. It has a dual locking system, and it's designed to make quick attachment changes safely. Installation kits are available that require no special tools. And in other news, Chinese equipment manufacturer XCMG says it has not only successfully tested a new autonomous asphalt compactor, but it has done so during the construction of a new highway. XCMG says the new autonomous road roller succeeded in tests at the end of May while working to build a highway known as the Panda Expressway. This highway stretches between the cities of Panxihua and Dali. Now, there are also reports that this Panda Expressway project also involves unmanned pavers as well. Now, here's how the autonomous rollers work according to XCMG. The rollers receive plans and instructions from a remote monitoring data center, and these instructions are then loaded into the machine's onboard control systems. And XCMG says the roller is able to operate within 2 to 3 centimeters of accuracy. Now, since this is an autonomous machine that we're talking about, an obvious question that's going to come up is safety. How does this machine work safely when it's around people and obstacles? Now, to that end, XCMG has equipped these machines with a real-time monitoring system that can sound warnings, conduct an emergency stop, enter and exit sites automatically, and avoid obstacles, according to the company. All right, rounding out the equipment headlines this week are the latest backhoes from Caterpillar. Now, Cat recently introduced the latest generation of its flagship 420 backhoe. Now, this new 420 replaces the 420 F2, and alongside the 420, Cat has also introduced a new 420XE model. Now, we recently posted a full video breaking down everything new on both of these new 420 backhoes and what the differences are between the standard 420 and this new XE model. Now, as we explained in another recent video on the new Cat D4 Dozer, and really Cat's new methodology for naming machines in general, this new XE letter modifier is essentially Cat's way for indicating a premium model now. So basically what you get on an XE model are extra options, and they're usually tied to comfort or technology. So with that said, be sure to check out our full video on the 420 and 420XE to see all of the extra comfort and convenience features that you'll be getting if you opt for the 420XE over the standard 420. You can find a link to that video in the description below. Up next today on The Dirt, we're joined by Robert Hussey. Robert is a product marketing manager for wheeled mining support equipment at Komatsu, and he's here today to discuss the company's latest loaders and new automation features that could have a big impact on the way these machines are used. Welcome in today, Robert. Thank you so much for joining us. How are you today, man?
Hey, Wayne, I'm doing great, man. Thanks for having me on. I'm really excited to be here.
No problem at all, man. So kind of the first question that I wanted to get into you was, what kind of unique improvements or recent updates to Komatsu loaders, maybe specifically some of these larger loaders like the WA800 and the WA900, but what improvements or recent updates to these machines do you feel distinguish Komatsu's loader lineup and the loaders that you guys kind of put out into the market? What distinguishes those from the rest of what's on the market? What is this lineup's core advantage in your opinion?
What I really think separates this W800, 900 lineup compared to the prior models is versatility to match customers' applications. Both machines have grown significantly from their prior models, the Dash 3s. These were both complete white paper redesigns of the machines, and they've grown significantly. Because the W900-8 has grown so much, we are able to improve 19-yard buckets, which is a true 4-pass loader on a 100-ton truck in a limestone pit application. That's something in the past we weren't able to do, and being that the limestone quarries are such a big market for us in North America, this really sets us apart from what we were able to offer in the past. For customers that may not need that level of production, we have the WA800 with a 15-yard bucket, which is a clean 5-pass on a 100-ton truck. So really, whatever a customer is trying to do, we now have a fleet of loaders that we can configure to match their application and get them the level of production that they need for their application and their quarries.
So Robert, what kind of a side B to that first question, but what in your opinion is kind of driving the development of these two Komatsu wheel loaders? I mean, obviously voice of customer and their specific requests are going to be key, but I'm also interested in hearing like what's going on inside Komatsu in terms of what you guys feel really strongly about and how those things are pushing the development of your loaders forward.
So, historically, if you look at Komatsu wheel loaders, we've always had very productive machines, and we've always had very good major component life. It was very common to hear customers getting 25, 27, 30,000 hours on the original major components. So those are really core for what we do and how we approach construction and mining equipment at Komatsu. Knowing that our production and major component life are crucial to who we are as a company, the two areas we saw room for improvement were in technology to make the machines more efficient and more comfortable operator environments for the operators running these machines 12 hours a day. So the first thing I want to talk about is smart loader logic. Historically, and Wayne, I've seen some of your other videos, North America, operators get the machine, they put it in power mode, and they never even put it in eco mode for the rest of the time they own the machine. What we've done differently on the W800 900-8 is we have taken the eco and power mode and allowed the machine to automatically change between those modes depending on the application's demand. So, for example, when you're in the W900 and you're digging, when you're in the pile and you need full power, that machine's going to be in power mode. When you put it in reverse and you're backing up out of the pile and you don't need a full power and output of the machine, it's going to lower and flip over to economy mode and allow you to have some more fuel savings. Now, this system, you can keep it in power mode 100% of the time if that is what the customer prefers. But from the testing we've done, operators really can't tell a difference whether the machine's in power mode 100% of the time or if it's flipping between power mode and eco mode, just because you don't need full power at all the given times. Some of the other things on the technology side we're really pushing hard in our development is our Contracts Plus system. So these loaders have a second-by-second data logger on them, which allows a sensor reading of all the sensors on the machine on a second-by-second snapshot basis. So if you think from, if you're trying to identify whether an issue's a machine issue, an operator issue, when you are able to take second-by-second data of all the sensor readings on the machine, it's very easy to get to a quicker issue resolution. To that point, too, we've upgraded machine monitors, which allow for 99.9% of all technical troubleshooting to be done through the monitor, as well as we're going to talk about here in a little, added some semi-autonomous features with the automatic dig, semi-auto approach, and semi-auto dump. So that's what's really kind of driving on the technology side. Now, as far as operator environments, we've added our ComVision all-around monitoring system to this machine. So what that allows is a bird's eye view on a dedicated monitor using 6 cameras and 4 radar panels, just going to give the operator an audible and visual alert in cab. This system, though, is actually completely separate from the rear view monitoring system. So in the cab, you have a ComVision monitoring system, a rear view monitoring system, and then because we have all these cameras around the machine, we added a LED lighting package to make sure that the areas that those cameras are pointed in are illuminated so you can see what's going on. And finally, just as far as making the operators more comfortable, new cabs, air suspension, heated ventilated seats, Bluetooth radios, all the creature comforts, heated mirrors, and tie-off points for technicians, as well as power ladders. We're really trying to make the machines more efficient and then make operator environments that are more comfortable so the operators can be more efficient in them.
So as you kind of alluded to near the end of your discussion of that last question, kind of segues nicely into a discussion about automation, autonomous features. Now, Komatsu has really led the way with autonomous machine control, really since the introduction of intelligent machine control back in 2013. But until recently, those types of features were really only reserved for dozers and excavators. And of course, the intelligent machine control proper features, those are still only found on excavators and dozers. But essentially what we're seeing now is kind of like the first trickle of automation kind of come down to the wheel loader lineup as well. And the first kind of loader to receive these features was that WA900-8. So let's go into these automation features that you mentioned earlier. What are they and how do they work?
So we kind of have 3 separate systems on the 800 and the 900. The first one is automatic dig. So this is actually new for the WA900, but it's something that we have on the WA475 all the way up through the 900 now on our product line. The way automatic dig works is essentially you arm the system, you put the bucket on the ground, you drive into the pile, and it's automatically going to actuate your lift and tilt cylinders to give you a nice full bucket. Now this is kind of the first step of the automation on a wheel loader. What was new for the 800 900 is steps 2 and 3, if you will, if you're thinking about a V-cycle. So after you've got a full bucket in the pile, this is where our semi-auto approach system comes into play. Now what semi-auto approach does is it automatically moves the work equipment up to a position where you can position to dump over a truck, while the operator only needs to focus on the travel path of the loader. What's great about this system is that it's got 3 different settings. It's got a slow setting, a standard setting, and a fast setting. And all of them are based on tire rotation. So the work equipment is going to move as fast as the loader actually travels. So if you're a newer operator, you want to go a little bit slower. If you back up out of the pile slowly, the work equipment's going to match that travel's path with you. Now with these 3 modes, we also have a demo setting. So if you're a new operator and you're just really aren't sure about using these systems, you want to see how they work, you can put it in demo and then practice with an empty bucket. And then the final system is our semi-auto dump system. The way that works is you can imagine with my approach, I've got the bucket up, I'm over the truck, I'm ready to dump. All I need to do is press the inside button on the dumps lever, and that's going to automatically dump the bucket and raise the lift arms. And then as I put the loader in reverse, it's going to go back to a return to dig. But as I said before, everything is based on tire rotation. So the first concern everyone has is what's going to stop me from hitting the truck. And what I always tell them is literally until the loader moves, the work equipment is not going to move. So, those are kind of the 3 systems we've added to this. Now, the reason we started with the WA800 and 900 for these additional semi-auto approach and dump systems are automation keys off of a repetitive task. Now, if you look at a loader in a pit, it's loading the same size trucks, it's working in the same face or similar face in the pit every day, and it's something that really becomes a repetitive task day in and day out. If you look at the loaders working in the yard, loading over the road trucks, like a WA500, you really don't know what's going to drive into the yard that day. It could be a 24-ton truck. It could be someone trying to get gravel to build a pad at their house, right? So as far as the benefit of automation features, these environments like a pit loader where it's a constant repetitive task loading the same size truck, that's really what we wanted to key in on. Now, from a benefit standpoint, we hear all the time that our customers have trouble finding operators. And so it's more and more common that someone with less experience loading a pit loader is going to be in that loader running it and loading trucks all day. So from a training standpoint, these systems can help a newer operator become more productive quicker, just by helping them get more familiar with the motions. Or they can help reduce fatigue for an experienced operator. The way we've set these systems up is they can all be used independently. So if you have an operator that really wants to dig, but doesn't really care about hoisting and dumping, they can just elect to use the semi-auto approach and dump systems. If you have an operator that wants to dig, wants to hoist, but decides, the auto dump was going to help reduce some of their fatigue, they can elect to just use that system. We're not trying to force anyone's hand on having to use all of them. It's whatever the operator prefers, and they can customize each mode to what their preferences are as an operator.
Yeah, so I mean, I think that the kind of my next follow-up from what you just said, and you mentioned how these features can help a new or a green operator adjust a little bit more quickly, and obviously there are some comfort benefits for veteran operators, just in terms of kind of relieving them of some of that repetitiveness throughout the day. But what has been what I'm kind of interested in hearing from you is what has been the reaction from those customers that you guys have been able to talk with and hear from and get some feedback on to these new features. Obviously, we've talked about the benefits, but what are you hearing? Has it been a tough sell until they give it a shot? What's been their feedback?
With these semi-autonomous features, this is what we have available today. But looking into the future, if we ever want to get to a fully autonomous wheel loader running in a pit, these are the sorts of systems that we need to start putting into the machine today to make sure that we get there. So I think being able to use these systems independently has been received really well by the market, and not forcing their hand to use them at all if they don't want to. We're always trying to focus on what is a repetitive task. So if you look at the autonomous haul trucks, the repetitive task for them was driving from point A to point B, dumping, and then returning to the load phase. If you looked at IMC and what they were doing, it was really focused on work equipment and controlling the blades and buckets of excavators while still allowing the operators to control the movement of the machine. With wheel loaders, we were definitely following more similar to what the IMC route is than what the autonomous truck haul route is. Mainly just because pit loaders have a repetitive task where we think if we can automate the work equipment first and allow the operator to operate the machine, that's going to give our best trajectory towards that fully autonomous wheel loader at some point.
All right, so obviously we've kind of addressed some of the kind of like more, I guess, like high tier or high level, or at least the things that first come to mind whenever you think of autonomous operation of these machines. But my understanding is that there's some, other kind of operations that are going on under the surface that are automated features, or you guys consider them automation features because they kind of take some of the little things off the operator's plate that don't necessarily have to do with actual digging and dumping. So talk a little bit about those, Robert.
So when I think about automation features outside of the automatic dig and semi-auto approach and dump, kind of some of the things that come to mind are this machine does not have an economy mode or power mode switch in the cab for the operator. We've added an engine control system called Komatsu Smart Loader Logic, which is constantly monitoring the load on the machine and changing the machine between economy mode and power mode based on that application demand. So once again, there's a way that we're putting technology into the machines that are going to help us save fuel by automatically controlling this feature without need for the operator to really pay attention for it. Some other things that come to mind, and this is a small one that's very common, but auto lubrication. Kind of a great way you keep your component life high is by having the machine greased and maintained, and by setting an interval in the monitor for when the machine is going to auto grease itself. once again takes away some of that burden from the operator, as well as the machine is always protecting itself. And then finally, new for both the 800 and 900 is a throttle lock with automatic deceleration. So if you've got the throttle locked in at high idle and you're banging out cycles, loading trucks, and then all of a sudden you've got a gap where you're waiting for a truck, if you don't put any inputs into the controls, it's going to automatically kick down to low idle to help you save some fuel. And then as soon as you put any movement into the controls, it's going to come right back up to where you had the throttle locked at, and you can get back into production. So between the semi-auto features of actually actuating the work equipment and then some of these systems working in the background, we're really trying to make the machine more efficient and more comfortable for the operator to be running in some of these long shifts nowadays.
All right. Well, Robert, thank you so much for joining us today, man. I really appreciate your time and coming in and helping us get a little bit better understanding of these new Komatsu loaders and some of these automation features. Again, thank you so much for your time, man. We really appreciate it.
Hey, Wayne, thanks a lot for having me on, man. It's always good talking to you.
So that's going to wrap it up for us today on this episode of The Dirt. But we want to hear from you guys. Let us know what you think of everything we discussed, from those new 420 and 420XE backhoes to those new autonomous rollers in China, and of course the Komatsu wheel loader lineup that we discussed with Robert. We want to hear what you guys think, so drop us a line in the comments below. Now, if you liked this video or found any of the information in it useful in your next machine purchase or rental, please do us a favor and hit the like button below. It really helps our channel out. And if you want more videos on the latest in construction equipment, gear, trucks, and more, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit the bell. Turn on notifications so you're getting up-to-the-minute alerts whenever we drop a new video. Thank you guys so much for watching. We really appreciate your time, and we will see you next time.